Joining us now, the host of the Todd Starnes Show here on Newsmax, Todd Starnes, investor and author of Planet Ponzi, Mitch Firestein, plus economic strategist Stacy Francis. We appreciate all three of you being here today. Mitch, I want to start with you here in studio. So we hear from Chuck Schumer and politicians, this is going to be a detriment to the American family. We hear from a business owner in Massachusetts who say it's going to be a great thing, that free trade is actually unfair trade here for the United States. What do you think?
Well, it's unfortunate that Senator Schumer, has to be fear-mongering and try to scare the public to having parity and having the United States not taken advantage of, as it has been for the past decades under, the different parties that have been there. What we're trying to do is reach parity in trade and make it fair for America and not America picking up the tab for everybody else in the world. And if we look at the tariffs in terms of autos, there are 7 countries that are impacted, and I think Canada's whining the loudest about it. And they're paying, I think, $24 billion. There's a $24 billion differential. Their GDP is only $2.2 trillion. Mexico's paying 80 with a $1.6 trillion GDP. And the U.S., of course, has a $30 trillion GDP. So they can complain about it all they want, but basically, since we're 10 times the size, or even more than that, or 20 times the size of Mexico, 10 times the size in economy of Canada, they're going to have to capitulate to what we want, and it's only fair.
Todd, more broadly, a lot of Americans, some we heard manufacturers, some actual Americans who own companies who are looking to get some jobs back, they say this is great news. Other Americans are panicking simply, I think, because of the great unknown. Where do you think this goes politically for the president?
All right, don't panic. That's the rule here. Don't
advice.
panic. And by the way, happy Liberation Day. March, we added, according to the ADP, we added 155,000 private sector jobs, many of those in manufacturing. That is a big deal because, again, the critics of the president's plan said that's not going to work. We're going to lose jobs. Look, the president has a plan here, and I think we all need to step back, remember that he was elected with a mandate, and this man knows what he is doing. Now, the concern politically, of course, what about Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, Susan Collins, and those renegade Republicans in the Senate? Even if they try to stand in the way, I know they're going to be siding with Tim Kaine on the resolution that he's introducing. I don't think that goes anywhere, and I do think at the end of the day, President Trump is going to have a good day today. You know what's fascinating about this, guys? When was the last time the entire world was waiting to hear a statement from the White House like this? Nobody knows what's going to happen this afternoon.
Certainly going to be a big announcement.
Yeah, very typical of this president, I think.
Yes.
You never know what he's going to do, which is part of the fun.
Yes, it is. Francis Stacy. I called you Stacy Francis when I introed you. A little dyslexic there. I apologize.
No problem.
I'll tell you what. I was listening to Chuck Schumer talk, and I don't know if he's ever been out to the parts of the country that have been absolutely decimated by this free trade and lost all their manufacturing. Most people, I'd say a lot of people, if not all, this is a fight in those parts of the country that they want to see happen.
Yeah, first of all, with regard to Schumer's, projections, financial projections, these tariffs, these taxes that are based on tariffs are very elastic, and they can be absorbed with different materials and different usages. And so companies are going to be, recalibrating, and we don't know what the final effect is going to be, but it's probably not going to be as high as the actual tariff as far as a price increase. So it's a little too soon to be giving those projections. The president is looking at a longer term effect on the American economy than the daily market activity. It's quite possible that as far as the market goes, that we've now priced in Liberation Day. We could see quite a bounce here. Whether or not that is going to sustain itself depends on the next quarter earnings season, because we have some growth things going on. But, we could see quite a bounce here. It just remains to be seen. I think the fact that he's planned the announcement after the markets close is probably a positive for the markets, but, I'm speculating. In the longer term, having steel come back to America is good for national security. And then you have rumors of South Korea and Japan and China meeting up, but, they all have trade surpluses. Why do they have trade surpluses? Because they have the American consumer. How, even if they get together, are they going to absorb all of their own supplies in those without that American consumer demand?
That's right.
Trump knows he's got all the cards and he's playing them.
He sure is. And again, as Todd pointed out, the world will be watching this afternoon, of course, as we will here at Newsmax. And of course, we'll bring it to all of you. Francis Stacy, Mitch Firestein, Todd Starnes, thank you.
Thanks.